Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to College of Science portion of Admitted Spartans Day for 2022. I'm Michael Kaufman. I'm the Dean of the College of Science, and I'll introduce my co-present here in a second. We're coming to you from the beautiful Silicon Valley, which you can see in this 1950s rendition before the valley was quite what it is today. But I can assure you that it's a similarly beautiful day on our gorgeous campus here in San Jose. My co-presenter today is Dr. Shelley Cargill, who is the Associate Dean for Academics in the College of Science, which means she's responsible for all kinds of things, which she'll tell you about in a couple of minutes. And myself, I'm the Dean of the College of Science, have the pleasure of serving in that role. And we're very, very excited to have you joining us to find out about what we have to offer here in the College of Science. A couple of housekeeping items before we get started. First of all, if you need captioning for today's presentation, if you go to the More tab in Zoom, there is an option for you to choose live transcript, and you'll be able to see a captioning of today's presentation, and it will also be possible to view the entire transcript in that same option. So you can scroll forward, scroll backwards, and even download the presentation. The other thing I wanted to point out is if you have questions for myself or Dr. Cargill, please feel free to enter those questions in the Q&A. We'll be keeping an eye on that during the presentation. Some of the questions we may answer, on the spot as you've asked them, but we'll be careful to get to all of those. Please, well, you can't turn your mics on without our permission, the way the webinar is set up right now. And so what we'll do is we'll go through the entire presentation, and then if you want to ask questions of us in real time, live, we'll allow individuals to open up their mics and ask their questions, and we'll try to answer them on the spot. So as I said, welcome to the College of Science. This is a picture which you'll see if you go to our website, and it was taken just before the pandemic at the end of one of our College of Science student research days, and you can see a large number of the student research presenters there, and right underneath it you can see the motto that we have for our college, which is that we create knowledge and we expand opportunity. Creating knowledge in the sense of engaging in original research with students, faculty, and staff, and expanding opportunity because we want to be able to help you achieve whatever dreams you have. We do that by engaging in student-centered teaching, research, and collaboration across our 9 departments. So let me tell you what those departments are. I know many of you probably know what department you applied to, but I want to give you a sense of the breadth of the departments that exist in the college. So we have many of the things that I'm sure you are very familiar with if you've just come out of high school: biology, chemistry, math, physics. But we also house the Department of Computer Science, one of our real gems in the college. We have 2 relatively small departments on main campus, the Geology Department and the Meteorology and Climate Science Department, and I'll have some things to say about those in detail. We also have a science education program where people go to learn how to be science teachers. So if that's an interest of yours, we're the place for you to go. And then if you look in the bottom right there, you'll see a whale's tail, and MLML stands for Moss Landing Marine Labs, which is another department in our college located a little bit off campus, and I'll tell you about that in a bit. But the point of showing you this slide is to show you that you aren't limited to the particular thing or to learning about the particular thing that you have applied for. There are lots of opportunities to do cross-disciplinary and interdisciplinary studies here in the college. Lots of interesting courses where, say, a computer scientist might want to apply their skills to geology, or a marine scientist may want to apply some physics to what they do. Keep your eyes open. We have lots and lots of things for you to take advantage of. Now, unfortunately, we're not on campus today. But since we're expecting to see many of you here in the fall, I thought I would give you a little bit of an overview of where our facilities are located. And here's a map of the campus. For those of you that have been to campus, you'll know that the campus is pretty much a rectangle that extends from 4th Street to 10th Street in the east-west direction, and from San Salvador Street up to San Fernando Street in the south-north direction. And right in the upper left quadrant of campus, I've labeled it with a blue square, is our iconic Tower Hall, which you saw in my first slide and which you can see over my shoulder. It's probably the most iconic image of San Jose State of all. If you happen to be standing outside the front entrance of Tower Hall and look across the pathway to the west, the building you'll see in that direction is labeled here SCI, and that's what we call Old Science. It's the science building that has been around since the late 1950s. My office is in there, and the physics department, all of its teaching and research and laboratories are in that building. And then if you happen to take organic chemistry, you'd also be going over to the science building. Down to the south of the science building in the southwest corner of campus is our largest facility in the college. That building is called Duncan Hall, and Duncan Hall contains biology, most of chemistry, all of geology, all of meteorology and climate science, and science education, as well as a couple of classrooms that are used by our mathematics department. And then just to the right of that is MH on this map, Macquarie Hall, and that's the location for our computer science and mathematics departments. So most of the classes for those two programs take place in Macquarie, and the department offices for those two programs are located in that building as well. So there's kind of a fairly compact corner of the campus where a lot of our stuff goes on. And then physics and organic chemistry in the dean's office are slightly separated from that. Now, the Moss Landing Marine Labs that I mentioned earlier in the presentation, that's located about 1 hour from campus on the very center of the Monterey Bay. If you've ever driven the road from Santa Cruz down to Monterey, when you were about halfway along that route, that's where Moss Landing is located. It's a tiny little town. And it was chosen by faculty from San Jose State and several other CSUs as a field study location way back in the 1960s. Now we have a beautiful state-of-the-art laboratory located right on this berm up above the bay. And faculty and students not only hold their classes and labs there, but they get on boats and go out into the field to do real-time scientific measurements of the chemistry and biology and geology of the Monterey Bay and of the associated estuary around it. So a very exciting facility and something that you should definitely go visit and learn more about when you come to join us. Now, in addition to the facilities that I just showed you, we're also in the process of building our newest facility. And this is an artist's rendition of our new interdisciplinary science building. It's well under construction, as I'll show you here in a minute. The ISB, as we call it, is an 8-story state-of-the-art building that will contain teaching laboratories, research laboratories, space for computational research, and most importantly, I think, collaboration space on every single floor. And what that means is that if you're a student who's coming into the building, you may take a chemistry lab on the east side of the 3rd floor. And then after you're done with that lab, you may go across the hall to engage in a research project with a faculty member in one of our brand new state-of-the-art laboratories. Then you step outside that laboratory into one of the collaboration spaces where you and your fellow students can collaborate either on classwork or original research work that you're engaging in. And this is really the model that we want to have for the future of science at San Jose State, that you are that you're teaching, your engagement in research and your collaboration with your fellow students and faculty form the core of your educational experience. We already do that very well, but we'll be able to do it even better now that we're working on this building. So here's a little bit of progress. When I gave a similar presentation a year ago, let's see, I'm sorry, no, that's 2 years ago. That was April of 2020 when the frame of the building had just gone up. And you can see the steel, but basically right through the floors. I'm happy to report that we have made tremendous progress, even though the pandemic slowed us down a little bit. And you can see this photograph, which I took just about a week ago, of the glass all up in the building. The construction is going very, very rapidly. And we're planning on opening this building just about a year from now. So by the time the next Admitted Spartans Day is happening next year, we'll be moving into the building. And that means that you and your fellow students will be able to take advantage of that. Now, the people who really lead the engagement in the classroom, in the laboratory, in the field, and in original research are our faculty. And I want to just introduce you to a group of them. I'm going to show you a couple of slides worth just to give you a sense of the breadth of projects that people work on. So I like to call these our faculty superstars. These are representative, but not everybody. There are plenty of faculty that I won't be able to include here, but they give you a flavor for the kinds of work that's going on. So in the upper left corner, the person in the blue shirt all the way to the right of that photograph is Dr. Madeline Radlauer. She was just awarded our university early career investigator award, which means she is exceptional at research and involving students in research. And what her research labs does is develop molecules that can mimic the enzymes that operate inside your body in order to cause various biological processes to happen more effectively. So they do inorganic chemistry and assemble molecules to see if they can make functions of the human body work more effectively. Just to the right of them are two of our relatively new faculty members in the physics and astronomy department, Hilary Hurst and Casa Betre. Hilary just got a big training grant from the National Science Foundation to train the new quantum workforce. So people who are interested in developing technology that takes advantage of quantum capabilities, things like quantum computing. And Casa is a leader in studying particle physics. You may have seen in the paper yesterday that there's a brand new result in particle physics that's kind of shaking up the field. And so if you're interested in either of those areas, go see the two of them. In the lower left is one of our marine science faculty, Dr. Geeta McDonald. She uses data loggers, which she attaches to various marine mammals to understand their physiology, how they dive, how they use energy, how they feed, and so on. And you can see this photograph here that was taken by one of her students when they both were in the Antarctic doing some of this research several years ago. And in the bottom right, Dr. Yan Zhang in the mathematics department, who is an expert on the theory behind blockchain and cryptocurrency, the technology and the currency based on it that are all the rage at the moment. A few more I'd like to highlight. Dr. Minghui Dao in the meteorology department is an expert on both urban air pollution and also the interaction between clouds and climate change. She and her collaborators, including her students, are engaged in research campaigns where they go up in aircraft and take samples of the air quality over the Southern Ocean of the Pacific. And very, very exciting integrated work that goes from large scale all the way down to city scale. Alberto Rascon in the chemistry department is developing genetic ways to modify mosquitoes so that they can't pass on malaria. So he's basically using the mosquitoes against themselves to prevent malaria from spreading, which is something very important in our world today as global warming makes more northern regions susceptible to, as northern regions warm up, mosquitoes are moving further north, including into the Bay Area. So this isn't just a out of the area problem, it's actually a problem for us right here in Northern California. Kim Blisniak, another early career investigator in the geology department, studies the history of the San Andreas Fault, and you can probably figure out for yourself why that's important. We care a lot about that across the state of California. And the final person here I want to mention is Katie Wilkinson. She's the second from the right in that photograph. She's the leader of a laboratory that studies this very fancy word proprioception, which just means how the human body establishes itself in space. So it has to do with balance, orientation, how you move through the world. And the reason I like to point her out is that last year's Nobel Prize in Physiology was awarded to a leader in the field of proprioception. And when the Nobel Committee released the announcement of the award, they always include a list of very important papers that were the background for the work that was awarded the Nobel Prize. And Katie and her students were one of the 6 papers that was listed for that work. So she's a collaborator with someone who just won a Nobel Prize, and her students were involved in that very important work as well. So pretty amazing stuff going on here at San Jose State. You too could be involved in Nobel Prize generating work. One other area where we're distinguishing ourselves is in the area of wildfire research. So we've had a faculty member in our meteorology department, Dr. Craig Clements, who's down on the lower left of that photograph. Craig is a pioneer in the field of studying wildfire on site. You can see in the photograph above, Craig and 2 of his students alongside their Doppler radar truck, which is studying the motion of the smoke particles that are coming off of that live wildfire. This is from last fire season. So if you work in that research group, you too could be trained in fire line safety and be allowed to go in and observe wildfire on the in the moment. And the group of faculty who are alongside him are faculty that we hired 2 years ago to create what we call the Wildfire Interdisciplinary Research Center. And so they are faculty in biology who understand how forests recover from fire, faculty who do high performance computing to model how fire moves and how smoke moves around our state as wildfires propagate. They are faculty that study combustion in an engineering sense. There's a social scientist who studies how communities prepare for and also recover from fire. And we consider this one of our most exceptional research groups. They're really out there solving big interdisciplinary problems for the state of California and the world, and they've been recognized with major support from industry, the state government, and the federal government for this important work. And you too can be involved in this from just about any angle you can imagine, right? If you're a computer scientist, you could work on computational models of fire. If you're a biologist, you could study how susceptible forests are to fire. If you're a meteorologist, you could study what particular conditions are prone to allow fires to start. All very, very important research for the reasons that I mentioned. So why do I bring up all these faculty? Well, student-centered research is one of the most impactful things that we can do in the college. If you walk around our halls or go out in the field, what you'll see is students working alongside faculty on this original research. The research is interesting as scientists simply for the discovery of knowledge, but it's also extremely important in preparing you for the world beyond the university. If you come to San Jose State and all you do is sit in your classroom and go home, you're not getting the most out of it that you can. If you work on a research team, then you get teamwork skills, you learn presentation skills that will be important in whatever field you decide to go into. You'll learn to solve problems in a cohort rather than working on things by yourself. Because our students come from a wide range of backgrounds, we like to think that we can contribute to very diverse thinking about solutions to these things. And as you'll see in a couple of slides, our students are also going out and making presentations at professional conferences and making their own contributions to the field. We know from looking at the data over many years that the students who get involved in research at San Jose State, particularly in the College of Science, make good progress to degree, graduate in a timely manner, and are very, very marketable when they decide to move on beyond the university. So here are just a couple of pictures of students in physics and chemistry and meteorology and biology engaged in some research projects. And let me show you a few recent notable ones. So here's in the upper left are 4 students from our biotechnology program presenting at a campus conference called the Silicon Valley Innovation Challenge. These 4 students were developing a technique for using DNA as a long-term storage capability. So instead of using disk drives, using DNA instead. The 2 students in the upper right, Malat Wahale and Nebet Ali, won prizes for their research work at a national conference called Abracams. Jessica Smith, who's in the lower left corner, just was awarded an African-American scholarship from the Aquarium of the Pacific for research work that she is doing into using natural products from the ocean as medicinals. And Richard Vo is one of 2 students who were involved in a groundbreaking galaxy discovery as undergraduates. And here he is on the summit of the Mauna Kea volcano in Hawaii, about to use the Keck telescope to follow up on some of his initial discoveries. So just a range of students involved in all kinds of interesting work. Here's a photograph of the San Jose State Science cohort at a recent National Biomedical Conference. And I don't know why that's cut off, but it says students at Abercam's National Biomedical Conference, in case you can't read the edges of that. There's a couple of faculty in there, but almost everybody in the picture is a student who's involved in original research here. Now, how do students get supported through this work? Well, we have a range of student support programs. It depends on precisely which field you're interested in, but in the physical sciences and also now in computer science, there's a program called CalBridge, which is designed to give research experiences and mentorship to students who are interested in moving from undergraduate into graduate programs, especially here in the state of California. In our chemistry department and also in biochemistry, we have a program called FIRES, which is a freshman research experience where you get paired with a faculty mentor and start to develop some laboratory skills, even in your first year here at San Jose State. There's a program supported by the National Institutes of Health called Mark U-Star, which is designed to support students in research who are interested in moving from undergraduate into biomedical and PhD type graduate programs. And then we also have a number of other programs that are listed here, and I won't go into all the details about them, but they're designed to give you the opportunity to be in the lab. And that's yet another photograph of students after a different student research day, after they've presented their work. And it's all in place to help you successfully move through the College of Science. So at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Cargill, who's going to walk you through some of the additional opportunities and supports that we have in the college. She's been answering some questions, I believe, and I'll be doing the same while she speaks. And take it away, Dr. Cargill.
I can't, there we go. At first I could not unmute. So while the academic programs are super exciting and really enriching, I also want to cover some other opportunities and some supports that are available in the College of Science. And so the first opportunity I want to talk to you about is that there are other organizations within the College of Science that are opportunities for students to get involved and to participate. And you can see here a list of College of Science organizations and clubs. Now, truthfully, these are student clubs. They are student run. They're not only open for College of Science students, they're open for all students at the university. But these are the clubs that are associated with the College of Science. And you can see there's a wide range from the student chapter of the American Meteorological Society, the Biology Students Association, which is a national association as well, the Chemistry Club and the Computer Science Club, Geology and Physics. There's a number of pre-professional clubs from pre-dental and optometry, pharmacy and veterinary, as well as the Spartan MD, which we would associate with the pre-medical club. So we encourage students to get involved in clubs. It's a more enriching experience when you're able to really get a diversity of experiences when you're at college. And it also serves as a wonderful resource to learn from other students about opportunities, as well as, you know, best practices to develop yourself as a professional as you're moving into your career. Next slide, please. Other resources that we have in the College of Science includes the College of Science Advising Center, which we call COSAC for short. And the College of Science Advising Center offers many, many resources to the college's students. If you'll go to the next slide, please. You can see here some of the things that the College of Science Advising Center does. And for those of you who have looked at the schedule, the College of Science Advising Center is having their own session today at 1:30. But the COSAC provides major advising for the entry-level students for biology, chemistry, and computer science, provides general education advising for all College of Science students. It helps with petitions, student petitions that are needed, change of majors and adding minors. The College of Science Advising Center can also provide resources about student health and help you direct you towards opportunities for courses and other opportunities. What students don't usually realize, but is super valuable, is that it offers free tutoring for any student who's taking a College of Science class. That includes students in the college, but also other students who are taking service courses in the different departments. And then also COSAC provides resources for internships and career advice. If you'll show the next screen, I'll elaborate a little bit on the tutoring available. So College of Science tutoring is really, I say, special and specific. We actually hire science majors as tutors. So students who have succeeded in the classes and performed well are hired as tutors. This is an opportunity for those of you who are looking for an on-campus job as well, right? If you do well in your classes, you can apply to be a College of Science tutor. But this is just a list of some of the classes that we offer College of Science tutoring in, where science students who have succeeded in those classes actually tutor for those classes. And there's a wide variety across the different departments here. Next slide, please. So I say what to expect next. If you go on to your next steps, then you will be invited to what's a Canvas course that's operated by COSAC. So the College of Science Advising Center will send you an invite, and we ask you to accept that invite because you are going to receive a lot of information through that Canvas course in order to do your registration and your orientation. You can see down at the bottom, there's like a screenshot of the different modules. And so we encourage you to look through those modules, look at the videos, look at the information about orientation sessions. There's a wealth of information there that we can really help direct you towards. Next slide, please. So a few takeaways for you before we answer more questions for you. We're super excited. We want you to come to San Jose State. We want to provide lots of opportunities for learning and development for you as you move towards your career. We want to support you to get to a timely graduation and get you ready. And then this link here, I see a couple of people have asked, where do you sign up for the Computer Science Department webinar? If you follow the link here, which we will put in the chat, then you can go to the College of Science website, and this will take you right to the events page, which is for Admitted Spartans Day. And on that events page, you can click to the different links. Some of them are just Zoom meetings, others are actual webinars. So go ahead and click on those and register for the webinar, and you'll receive the link right away in order to be able to participate in that webinar. If you want to show the, did you share that in the chat as well? Perfect. And
I
then,
just put it in the Q&A.
Perfect. And then this is just some more information about Admitted Spartan Days. This is a full week event, right? And if you go to the university's Admitted Spartan Days website, there's all sorts of resources there, campus tours, pre-admission counseling, all sorts of information, additional live events that are going to be occurring. So please do visit those websites as well. And we can go ahead and leave this screen up while we take some of your questions.
Right. So if people want to keep typing questions in the Q&A, we'll just go ahead and answer them live. So let's see. I think I already put in the chat where you sign up for the computer science webinar scheduled at 11:30. You should be able to find it on the College of Science link that I just posted in the chat.
Perfect. I see the second one is related to COSAC. So it
Yeah,
says, is this COSAC course in conjunction then to the Spartan Camp orientation? Well, we invite you to accept the invitation to the COSAC course ahead of time, because there's a wealth of information that will prepare you for Spartan Camp orientation. And so, yes, you'll be using some of that information at Spartan Camp, but also some of it will help you to get ready for Spartan Camp.
Okay. Next question. Do you want to take the next one?
Yeah, the next question is, can we finish our bachelor's in less than 4 years, like in 3 years? And the answer is, it really depends on you and your preparation and on your ability maybe to take summer classes as well. So you definitely could, if you came in with, say, some students have community college credits already. If you came in with AP credits, that will definitely help you move forward in your progress to degree. If you are available to take a load of courses during the summer session, then that would definitely help you to your progress to degree. I have seen students graduate in an accelerated path, so it is definitely a possibility, and you'd want to make sure that you're talking to advisors as soon as you are getting started.
It requires careful planning and hard work.
Yes, it does.
Okay,
so the next question is, first-time freshmen register for fall 22 classes during Sparta Camp. Where can I find the class section time information for the computer science major and plan my fall schedule before orientation day? So just so you know, first-time freshmen are blocked scheduled into usually 3 courses in order to make sure that they are getting into those required courses that they need as freshmen. And we will be looking to make sure that those are the courses that align with your preparation. For example, if you were a computer science student and you took AP computer science and you got a satisfactory score on the AP exam, then we would make sure that we scheduled you into the next class, right? Not the very first class, the class that would be following. And so you will enter into your Sparta Camp program already having been scheduled into 3 courses. And then during Sparta Camp, we will talk to you about the other best courses for you to get enrolled into. And we will provide you the opportunity during the registration session during Sparta Camp to actually register into those sections. And then you will be able to see class sections in terms of, you know, what's available once you have completed your next steps.
Right, you'll have access to the full class schedule.
Yep.
That way.
Right.
Okay, is it possible to maintain a job and attend one of your programs? I assume that this question regards a full academic program, a major in our college, based on night classes or online classes. There are There are classes offered at a whole range of times, some during the main part of the day, some late afternoon, some evening. It may be that for some specialized things, especially when you get to the upper division, that the number of sections that you have available to you is in a more compressed time scale. So that requires careful planning on your part. But there are night classes, there are online classes. It just depends on the particular program that you're in. Do you offer part-time student status for transfer students, or do you need to maintain a full-time class schedule? No, you can be a part-time student. The cutoff is either below 6 units or above 6 units for whether you're considered part-time or full-time. And plenty of our students do this as a part-time student. It means it will take you longer, but it means you can also maintain your other responsibilities. So it's a frequent option of our students. I'm going to let Shelley take the next one.
What programs are available in biology? I encourage you to visit the biology webinar that is occurring at 11:30, but I can tell you that biology offers a wide range of programs. They offer a BA Biological Sciences, which is a more open, flexible degree. You get to choose more of your electives. They offer BS, Bachelor's of Science in Biology, with different concentrations. So the concentrations are systems physiology, which is designed as a pre-professional school degree. It has all of the courses in it that you would need in order to apply to medical school, pharmacy school, dental school, those types of things. A concentration in molecular biology, which gives you hands-on lab experience in molecular techniques. Lots of students utilize this in order to transition themselves into a career in biotechnology. And then there's also a concentration in microbiology, again, giving you lots of hands-on lab experience in order to prepare you to work in the industry. There's also BS in ecology and evolution, and a BS in marine biology. So lots of different options there.
Right, and as a follow-up to that, there's a question about neuroscience, and you're probably best situated to answer that as well.
Yeah, so you are able to take neuroscience classes as if you say you wanted to be a biology major, and we have neurophysiology, and then there's a neuroscience class that's offered in psychology that students can take. But some students do follow, become a psychology major and do a neuroscience pathway. That's more of a psychological direction. It's less of a physiological direction. So it depends on your real interests. Okay. I'll take the next one as well. Can freshmen take classes at community college in summer 22 without impacting status as a freshman? Yes, you can. And it's a fabulous way to get a jump start. And it's not uncommon for students to sometimes take an additional community college class sometimes during a semester at San Jose State, if it works better for their schedule.
Yep. Let's see, I'm taking AP Calc at the moment. And if I pass the AP test, well, I have to take Calc in college. It depends on two things. One is what your score is on the AP test will determine which class or classes you place out of. And then there's also the question of what your major is. If your major requires more than just intro calc, even if you place out of intro calc, you may have to take some more calc. It really just depends on your major. Yep. So that's something you can discuss with an advisor in quite a bit of detail.
The next question is, how hard is it to change from a biology major to a computer science major? Both of those majors are impacted majors. You really, if you're already been accepted as a biology major, you can't immediately transfer. You have to meet the requirements for the computer science major. So I would highly encourage you to talk to COSAC and see what the requirements are for that. Computer science is highly impacted, which means it does have a higher GPA requirement. And I encourage you to reach out to COSAC for that. And you could visit their session this afternoon.
By any chance, are there any programs or internships that relate to working at hospitals or clinics?
I could take that one as well. I would say programs, there's not established programs, meaning, like you just step into this program and you are going to go work in a hospital. There are lots of faculty who have contacts and have recommendations and references for you to work in different areas. And our students have been very successful at placing in internships in our local hospitals. So it is definitely an opportunity.
And it's also worth mentioning that there are several student clubs that are committed to being involved in medical activities as well. So take a look at those.
The next question is what are the 3 blocked classes I mentioned? It really depends on your degree. So it will depend on your degree, and it depends, it's really following the 4-year plans of the different degrees. So you can look at those 4-year plans on the university's website. They're called roadmaps, and it depends on the degree. And you can find out more information at your Sparta camp.
Can international students also enroll in part-time or full-time opportunities? I assume you're referring to the idea of being a part-time student rather than a full-time student. My understanding is that visa requirements make it so that international students have to register for 12 units of courses, which means they would be considered full-time at the university. If that's not the gist of your question, feel free to type another question in and I'll try to answer it more accurately.
So I'm going to take a question that was put in the chat. It's what are some tips you can give to Sparta freshmen who are interested in research opportunities, and is it possible for a freshman to get into research? And the answer is absolutely. What I suggest is look at the websites for the different departments, because each of the websites has a blurb or a description of the research of each faculty member, and see what you're interested in. And then once you've determined what you're interested in, definitely reach out to faculty. Faculty are interested in engaging students early. Let's be honest, it takes quite a bit of training to work in a research lab. And myself as a researcher, if I get a student in their freshman year and they stay with my lab for 4 whole years, it's amazing what we can accomplish. I mean, honestly, I have seen senior level undergraduates do work that's comparable to a first-year master's student if they've been in the lab for 4 full years. So it's definitely a possibility.
And let me follow up with one other tip, and that is that many departments, usually in the fall of each year, have a presentation. It's normally during one of their seminar slots, where they'll have faculty from the department get up and give little 5-minute descriptions of their research work. So keep an eye out for those as well. If you're, in chemistry or biology or physics, I know for a fact that they do those. You just have to look for the specific date. So that's a good way to both learn quickly about the things that are going on and also introduce yourself to the faculty member that you're interested in working with. And then I mentioned the FIRES program as well. That's a somewhat more structured program that's designed to give first-year students some training in some general laboratory techniques before being assigned to a laboratory. That's run out of the chemistry department, but you can learn more about it either on the chemistry webpage or on the College of Science webpage.
All right, we have another question in the Q&A. It says, if you earn more than 60 credits at community college, can I transfer all of them to San Jose State? Yeah, it depends, right? If they're articulated. So transferring units, we can utilize up to 70 units from community college, or a combination between community college and AP, but it really depends on the articulation. And even if you took, 60 units at the community college, it's a possibility that some of those units overlap with what the requirements are here at San Jose State. So for instance, you could have 2 classes that meet one of the requirements at San Jose State, right? So only one of them would be used to transfer, but the articulation officers work hard to get all those transfers entered in as quickly as possible. My advice to you is submit your transfer credits as soon as possible. Get those in as soon as possible. There's a question about being accepted into H&A and then wants to transfer to major in the College of Science. Yes, if you were admitted to a different department, then you would have to undergo a change of major. You should reach out to COSAC, attend that session this afternoon for information on what is needed to do a change of major.
Yeah, functionally, there's no difference between changing from college to college and department to department. It's still the same sort of requirements. So biology to computer science and let's say animation to computer science would have the same entry requirements.
Right. You attend, COSAC holds workshops very regularly about change of majors for the specific majors. You attend one of those workshops to find out the requirements. You fulfill those requirements and submit your change of major, and it's evaluated. And if you meet all of the requirements and they have enough spots, then you'll be transferred over into that major.
Okay, I think that's, oh, we have another one here.
We have one hand up. Pablo, did you want to put your question into the Q&A, or maybe you already did?
I'm going to allow Pablo to talk.
Okay, you can go ahead and do that. I think you're host.
Pablo, if you turn your mic on, you should be able to speak. Are you there? No, looks like maybe not. All right, well, let's assume that Pablo was able to type a question in the Q&A. Let's see.
There's a question about what do you need to do in order to get a PhD in astronomy. We're not a PhD granting institution, but Dr. Kaufman can probably tell you the pathway.
Yeah, so I have one of those. That happens to be my field. And PhDs in astronomy, the vast majority of people who go into graduate programs in astronomy have majored in usually physics or astronomy as undergraduates. We don't have an astronomy undergraduate degree, although we do have astronomy courses. So if you were a physics major and you took our astronomy classes and did well in them, you'd be well positioned to move on to graduate school. I mentioned it earlier, the CalBridge program is a support program that works in a very unique way. What it does is if you are a physics, astronomy, and even now computer science student interested in moving on to a PhD, what we do is we provide you with support in the form of scholarship for your last 2 years at San Jose State. And at the same time, you're assigned a mentor here at San Jose State and also a mentor at one of our PhD granting partners, usually a UC campus like UC Santa Cruz, UC Berkeley, UC Merced. And what that allows you to do is be in close contact with people on both sides, both the undergraduate side and the graduate side. And that will help you to understand what the requirements for moving into a PhD program are. So the final thing I'll mention is that if you get accepted into a PhD program at one of the UCs, then the CalBridge program will also cover the expenses for your first year of the PhD program. So it's a very attractive program. Relatively few students move on to PhDs in astronomy, but that's a great opportunity for you if you're interested in that.
We have another question about articulating units from the community college. And the question asks, what office handles this? It's actually the Office of the Registrar. So the Office of the Registrar does the evaluation and the inputting. There's a question about, is forensic science in a different department? And yes, it's in a different college. Forensic science is in the College of Social Sciences. If you're majoring in forensics with a concentration in biology, you will have the opportunity to take biology courses as part of that degree, but it's a different degree plan.
Will there be any CS courses in the new science building? So the main occupants of the new science building will be our laboratory intensive biology and chemistry programs. However, there is some space in the building for some applied and industry focused programs out of our College of Professional and Global Education. And there's a significant possibility, although we haven't worked out all the details, that we may be using some of their classrooms during the day as well. So it is possible, but that's not the main design for the building.
There's a question about AP credits specifically for computer science, and this is from Pablo. Thanks, Pablo, for typing that in. I'm going to encourage you to attend the computer science webinar that starts at 11:30, and the reason is the department chair, Dr. Mo, is going to be able to give you much more specific answers about this. Yes, the credits do translate, she's going to be able to answer for you exactly what classes they translate for. So please attend that session. And then somebody also asked for the link for the COSAC session. That is posted on the college website as well. So if you follow that link to the college website for the events, then the COSAC session is also listed there.
See, and I've just entered that in again for your.
And then Dr. Kaufman, there's a question about, is there a program like CalBridge for masters? And since you're more familiar.
Yeah, the way the CalBridge program is set up is that it's designed to help students move on to a PhD program. So it is possible as a master's student to be involved in CalBridge before moving to a PhD, but it's not designed to go undergraduate to master's. You can learn more about the program again on the physics department website and also on the College of Science website. But there are master's students that move on to PhD, but it's not designed for undergraduate to master's.
There's a question about somebody who was admitted as a BA in math and would like to change major to the BS in math. And the answer is that's that change of major pathway. Yes, you will be encouraged to attend a College of Science math change of major workshop where they'll give you the specifics of what you need to do. And then you'll work towards that pathway to change. So yes, it is possible to change that.
How long would it take to receive a PhD through CalBridge in general? That's a great question. So for PhDs, it's normally the case that once you get your undergraduate degree, it's something like 5 years to move on to a PhD program and complete the original research and thesis that's required for a PhD. So I would take however long you expect to be in an undergraduate program and add approximately 5 years to that. One of the nice things about CalBridge is that because it involves mentoring on both sides of the application and move on to the PhD program, there are some parts of it that you'll have a head start on. You'll have a mentor at the UC. You might even have a research project that you started. So something to keep in mind.
There's another change of major question from biology to computer science. And yeah, you've been admitted as a biology student, so you'd be expected to start to take biology courses. I encourage you to attend a change of major workshop as soon as possible so that you learn about what the requirements are. But once you've been admitted as a student, there's going to be certain classes that you need to take in computer science and demonstrate success there before you're able to change majors.
Yeah, I think that's, let's see, it's 11:24.
Yeah, so are there any last questions before you head off to your different specific department webinars?
So once again, I will add the link on the College of Science website that has all the information about the other sessions in the chat. You should be able to see that now. And that'll allow you to register and join any of the sessions that begin as soon as 11:30. So time to get on it.
And the registration's super fast. So you could register right now and still receive the link to be able to attend the 11:30 session. So we encourage you to go ahead and do that. Thank you all for coming. We look forward to you all becoming Spartans. So please make sure you follow your next steps. And we look forward to seeing you as College of Science students.
Congratulations on being admitted, and hope to see you in the fall. Thanks, everybody.
So there is one question in the chat or the Q&A I'm going to answer real quick. It's about kinesiology, and kinesiology is in a different department. I'm sorry, in a different college. So yeah, you need to look up on the College of Health and Human Sciences webpage. I'm sure they will have their links there to register for their sessions. All right, thank you, everybody.
Hey, thanks, everyone. Thanks, Shelley. That was great.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and close this session. And just so you know, it has been recorded. So we will post the link on the College of Science web page so you can visit again. just in case. Bye-bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.